Morning, everyone. Great morning. Excellent spirits on today. Want to come on and address my Penina. For you who may not be familiar with that story, Penina and Hannah are rivals, and Penina is the one that is not barren. She's able to have children, and Hannah is the complete opposite. She is not able to have children, and Penina often picks at her and takes pleasure in teasing her. Now, the dichotomy is that Hannah is the one that's loved by her husband, and Penina is the one that's the one that's tolerated, to speak, because a man has to have children, pass down his legacy, so he can't do that alone. So in this story, the two women share the king, and his heart belongs to one, and his sperm, his seed comes from another. Now, these two rivals often picked, I want to say Penina picked at Hannah all the time, like, I'm the one that can have children, you're barren, and you're nothing. And obviously having a children was a special reward, a special thing, because you were able to give your husband a child to reproduce, and that was his legacy. So that was the purpose, the seen as the purpose of a woman. And if she was not able to do so, obviously she was not a full woman and could not fulfill her obligations as a woman, as a wife, even so. So Penina just picked like a scab, just peeled and picked and poked and right. So now that's the basis. So everybody has a Penina in their life. It may not be in this case of having a child, but you have someone or something. It can be a boss. It can be a family member, a relative, a friend in the group. But you just have someone who just picks and nags and nags. And I realize that I often feel sorry for the Penina, and I'm seeing a trend, a visible trend, that, and I don't even want to see among certain Muslim religious groups that practice polygamy. Peninas and Hannahs are living in the village together, and they're cool and they're friends, and then and there's a little argument, Penina's nagging, and then afterwards they're friends and family. They're friends again and hanging out. And I can so see how that's possible, because as a woman you tend to sympathize and empathize with her emotional feelings when the person isn't attacking you or denigrating your character, your trying to humiliate you, or just trying to have fun at your expense. And I saw this clip by Ayana this morning, Vislant. I'm not sure I pronounced her name right, but we're all familiar with her work, her coaching, her work, her writing, her contributions, and as a motivational speaker and editor. So Ayana Vislant, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing her last name correctly. She worked on a show which the man had to talk about his many baby mothers. I hate the baby mama term. The many children he had by different mothers, different women, and she took the role to explain, to role play as if she was the woman that the man left for another woman, and left her empty-handed with a child to take care and the responsibility of this child. And her response was so touching. And when she speaks, she's like, I'm the one that you left me for another woman with this child and nothing to do. And I automatically put myself in that person's position and just would want to give that other girl a hug. I would want to give my Penina a hug. I would want to have a forum with my Penina, but then at the end of the day, you're essentially not gonna ever be friends, because you have something connecting you. You have something in common, and you really don't want to share. And I don't share with mine. Let it be known. I was checking. I can't share with mine. So, but nonetheless, hearing the knowing how that hurt is you can just relate to that type of hurt. You just want to hug your Penina. So I say that to everyone who wants to attack your Hannah. First, you both struggle with something, a loss, and you have the thing you have in common is someone who is not being faithful to neither one of you, and not to themselves. So don't take away from your worth, your self-worth. Know that you are still beautiful. You are still it. It's going to take some strength to kind of step away from that situation, so the person can understand and value your worth. But that just comes down to a whole culture thing that we're fighting, where women will accept less. And so a man think it's okay, and if you don't tolerate it, I'll just go to someone else, another woman, because we have lowered our standards. And in turn, the men have lost the desire to treat us like queens. And there's again something in the middle with our community and our culture that's missing, that we need to go back to the roots and kind of reconnect the importance of a family role, the nuclear family, and just it's going to take some digging down into some roots and readdressing some issues that we've lost along the way. But to the issue of Hannah and Penina, I just say this morning that I feel for my Penina, and you're beautiful. And in the and also in the clip that I'm talking about, the men were crying just profusely. And it also shows that men are sensitive and have feelings, and we often overlook that. But in fact, they are very sensitive. They're portrayed to have muscles and strength, but I'll dare to say that we women bear more strength. And behind every man, there's a strong woman. So know that. And Penina, you can be someone else's Hannah. And that will bring me to a conclusion. Just as soon as I mentioned, Penina will also sort of commit herself to destroy and destruct everything that Hannah is doing, or gather comrades, gather a crew to, attack every point of her existence. And that may also include calling mommy as backup. What I find in the Caribbean and definitely in the Caribbean and Latino mentality or culture is that parents, especially Hispanic, Latino, are more women, they're more submissive. And myself, I feel I've always looked to an outside family to embrace me as family, and often dismiss mine because of some dysfunctions and hurts and abuse. So I've always looked outside of that. Now, in my Penina, or recently, Supermom, who has said that she's had to save her family from a cancer, I speak to that mentality, because I would look for that mom that would want to adopt me to take my hand, sit me down, and tell me, you know what, daughter, this is what's wrong, this is what's going on. But to cloak with your Penina and feed her plan, the two of you allows your Hannah to be destitute. You're not fulfilling your role, and especially if this is the person that your son wants to hear a mom say, well, I had to get rid of a cancer. I would say, wow, I would see where my son is coming from, and if that's his heart, and if this person has potential, or if not, let me bring her in. Let me nurture. Let me be her Ruth. And let me give her some roots if she didn't have it. So I speak to the mother who wants to get rid of the cancer and protect her son or her family, and tells me that they had to get rid of the HPV, the cancerous HPV. And a Supermom and had to do that for the family. I say, next time, if your family has selected a cancerous candidate, take her in and birth the woman in her that's in you. That's your gift to your son, to your family, to the world. Whatever you have inside, whatever mistakes you've made, that's groomed you and allowed you to become a person of excellency, pour it out in them. Be a Ruth. Thank you.